Hello everyone, that's ENGin Podcast, and we're coming back. My name is Masha.
And my name is Fiona, and this week we're going to be talking about differences between the US and Ukraine, and these are topics that people submitted on our Instagram. So if you want us to talk about a specific topic, send us a message on Instagram and we will try to make an episode about it.
Yeah, so many of us know a lot about teenagers and school in the US just from films and different movies. So it's a great chance to talk with a person who actually know more about this because of living there. Then we are coming closer to our first topic, and this is high school. So please, Fiona, tell us about, is it the truth, what we see in the movies about American lifestyle?
Yeah, so first I just want to say, as we start this episode, America is a very diverse and very big country, so a lot of people experience it in different ways. I'm from Southern California, so my experience is going to be different than someone from a different state, but I'll try and talk about things that I think a lot of Americans have in common for the most part. So the first one for high school, I think there is a lot of truth into what you see in the movies, but not all of it is true. We do have prom, which probably a lot of you have seen in movies. It's a dance generally at the end of the school year. And we also have homecoming, which homecoming is a football game and a dance. So homecoming is basically when the alumni come back to the high school and the school elects a homecoming queen and homecoming king, and then there is a dance. And as far as American high school, typically you have 6 to 8 classes a day, and you can take advanced placement courses, which is AP courses, and you can get college credit for them, or there's other courses. And someone asked what the school cafeteria food is like, so I'll talk about that. I never ate at the school cafeteria, and a lot of Americans, I think, don't, because the food is generally very unhealthy and very bad. So what you see in the movies a lot of times, I think, is a student will have milk, maybe a slice of pizza, and an apple or a banana, something like that. And I'd say that's generally pretty true. I'd say the food in American high schools is not the healthiest and not the best. So a lot of students, we either bring our lunch from home or we might just eat a snack and then we might go have lunch after school at home, because generally the school day ends in the US around between 2 to 4 p.m. depending on what time you start school in the morning. When I was in high school, we ended around 2:30 p.m. and then we have the whole evening for extracurriculars and other things.
Seems to be great. So actually in Ukraine and the high school, students are more focused on getting pretty high scores and preparing for final exams, which we call Xenia. Actually one of the most important days is graduation. So we celebrate it a couple of days. The first is prom, then we have dinner in the restaurant as usually. Then we celebrate just like some parties without our parents and like fun things.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Actually, high school is a pretty great chance to have some different interesting stories, participate in extracurricular activities, which I highly recommend to focus on, because this is a great chance for you to understand what's your interest, and later you'll be able to choose from the study fields in the university easier. So the next topic is universities. Universities are very popular, like in movies, and in the US. And Fiona, please tell a bit more about them.
Yeah, so there are many different kinds of universities in the United States. And this is a topic I could talk about for a long time because there's a lot to mention here, but I'll try to keep it short. So there's so many different universities. There's liberal arts universities or colleges, and generally these are more in the East Coast of the United States, and typically these are smaller schools, and they might focus more on the humanities, arts, philosophy, things like that. Not to say that they do not have any math or science, but generally that's more what they would focus on. And there's also bigger universities. Like I said, I'm from California, and I went to the University of California, which you might think is just one school, but it's actually, I believe, 10 campuses across the state of California, and each campus has many students. My university had 35,000 students, I think, around that number. And I studied biological sciences and art history, and generally in the US, university is 4 years because you take general education courses alongside your specialty, which I think that is a big difference in the US versus other countries. So there's that. Also in the US, there's sororities and fraternities, which this is generally called Greek life. And these are basically special clubs that you can join, and there's a lot of parties in American universities, but there's also a lot of other clubs you can join based on your interests, which is really great thing. And universities in the United States are a really great place to meet new friends, and a lot of students come from around the world, so you can meet people from all over the world, and it's just a really great place to learn and grow. Generally, university in the US tends to be quite expensive, but there is financial aid, and this can help you pay for your time in university.
Yeah, and as far as I know, the American universities are pretty popular because of their high rate among the world universities.
Yes, generally a lot of American universities are pretty high up in the world ranking. I think my university was in the top 100 or top 200 around the world, but I do want to say part of this is thanks to really smart and incredible international students and scholars coming from other countries who come make the universities a better place. And there's so many intelligent individuals who come from all over to study, do research, and be a part of the American university communities. And yeah.
That's great. So similarly to the American universities, we have bachelor 4 years approximately, and master 2 additional years approximately. Then you may continue with doctor, PhD, things like that. Of course, in the university, you usually Ukrainian students usually also find a part-time job in order to earn some money, for pocket money to spend for everything you want. And what else? There's different types of universities depending on the focuses, the subjects they focus on, dependence on the special communities. Those things you may more deep into while speaking with those who already studied there. But also an interesting thing is that the life in university is absolutely different from the high school, as you feel more freely to go to different parties, to choose your own plans for life, and choose your field of studying. So that's what makes the university special.
That sounds cool. Makes me want to go back to university and meet more amazing people and learn more. The next topic we're going to talk about today, we're probably going to be making a part 2 just so everyone knows, because we got a lot of topics to talk about and there's so many things to mention. But the last topic we'll talk about today is teenager life. And someone asked, what's the relationship between teenagers and their friendship? So in the United States, I'd say teenage life, a lot of students, it's a time to have fun with their friends. Like I said, extracurriculars are very important in the United States in American high schools. And there actually is quite a few people who do have a relationship at some point in high school. I had a relationship for a few months during my last year of high school, which is my senior year. I'd say this is pretty common. And as far as teenage friendships, a lot of students go and hang out with their friends a lot. I still am really close, and one of my best friends today still is someone I met in high school. So definitely sometimes these are friendships that carry on in life, but not always. There's some friends I had in high school I don't talk to anymore, but I think this is pretty normal. And as far as teenager life, a lot of students are involved in sports, in student government or theater, many different things. There's many different clubs you can join in American high schools, and I'd say for the most part, a lot of students are involved in some sort of club or sport during their time in high school, and this is very much, I think, prioritized, and actually something American universities consider when accepting a student or not to a college, is what extracurricular activities they were doing. And in some schools, this is as important as their academics, because a lot of universities in the US want to make sure you're a well-rounded person, so you volunteer, you have some sort of activity you do, as well as have good grades. So all this is very important in the United States.
Yeah, that's a great point to consider if you want to study abroad.
Yes.
So Ukrainian teenagers, they think more about just having fun before a hard and serious adolescence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, about talking of relationships, they're pretty common among teenagers. But as I analyze the majority of my acquaintances, these relationships do not last long for a long period of time.
In the US too.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a great chance to build your own community and then keep in touch with those people for as long as you want, because those people, they are connected with you by some interests that you share. And of course, this period of time, I'd strongly recommend others to participate in different competitions, Olympiads, in different extracurricular activities. It just depends on what you like most, but in a way it will help. It will definitely help you in future, because you'll understand what exactly makes you feel happy, and then you will be able to decide what field of study to choose in university and which job to choose later.
Yeah. I do want to add one more thing about American high school, is there are a lot of students who do focus on academics as well. And I think this just really goes back to how many different kinds of people are in the United States, and American students do study a lot as well. But I do think extracurriculars are a really big focus in the United States, which is why I mentioned that. But I think we're running out of time for today, but we will definitely be making another episode, maybe a few more, about differences between Ukraine and the US. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, again, special topics, send us a message on Instagram and we will do our best to make an episode on it.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to us, and we hope you enjoyed it. So see you the next time.
Yes, thank you everybody. See you next time.